Welcome back from break. This is the part 2 of the Fire Guard for Impairment, Fire Guard Cof F01. We just concluded earlier the part 1 of this program, and we had to give a break so that you could go grab little refreshments. And I hope all you all are refreshed so we can start part 2 right now. Alright, so we're going to start part 2 with the pull stations. I believe this is where we left off earlier. The manual pull station devices. So the idea of the fire alarm system is to warn the occupants to leave the premises in case of a fire or other emergencies. Some fire alarm systems are activated automatically. Others must be activated manually. So fire alarm systems that are manually activated use fire alarm pull stations because human beings have to pull. You have to activate the pull stations manually. So the fire alarm systems that are manually activated use fire alarm pull stations. The manual pull stations may not directly transmit a signal to the fire department. So like I said earlier, you need to, shoot a phone call. A phone call must always be made to 911, or if you have a speed dial to the fire department dispatcher, great. But don't ever assume that a fire department may be called if they hear an alarm, or automatically a smoke detector sound activated the fire department signal to know where the fire is coming from. You have to sound that alarm manually. So fire alarm pull stations shall be located near the exits of the protected area. They must be visible, clear, and reachable. There must be at least one manual fire alarm pull station in each floor of a building. Manual fire alarm pull stations should be of opposite colors to the background of which they're installed on. So like that, you see it. It's conspicuous. Approved plastic covers may be used to protect fire alarm pull stations. They help to avoid false alarm. There are two types of manual pull stations that we actively use in the market. And the first one is the single action station. The word single simply says it all. That's all you have to always think about during your continuous study. So single versus double. That's the two kind of pull stations that we have in the market. Single and double action stations. So the single action stations need only one step to sound the alarm. The covers on this alarm station serves as the lever. This kind of alarm stations are often found indoors. They're always inside the building. Office complexes, wherever you are working at, you find it inside. So when the covers are pulled down, it sends an alarm signal. That is how it's designed to be. So you have a picture of a single action station, and you have a picture of how it's being activated. It's a one-step activation. So versus a double. The double action stations now requires two steps in order for it to activate, or rather for the alarm to be activated. The user must apply two steps, which are break a glass, open a door, or lift the cover, which are one step, depending on the kind of double action stations you have operating in your building. then gain access. You have to break in and then gain access. Gain access to switch the cover, which must then be operated to initiate an alarm. Alright, so to activate this type of alarm, the cover must be lifted before the lever is pulled. Alright, I believe you all have a good idea of this kind of pull station. This kind of double action station is often found indoors as well. Another kind of double action station is the break glass break glass station required. So wants to break the small glass with a small metal and then activate the alarm. So this is a picture of the double action station. Double action station, and then how you activate the double action station. So the fire guard must know how to manually work each alarm station on its side. Once activated, the fire alarm station cannot reset itself. Then that's when the fire safety director comes very important. The FSD. The FSDs are typically known as the S95 COF card holders. So once the alarm is activated, the key may be needed to reset the manual pull stations by the FSDs, with strict instructions from the brigaders in the fire department. Fire guards should become familiar with the locations of all fire protection devices and fire alarm pull stations. All fire alarm pull stations installed or relocated after April 1st, 1984 should be installed correctly. The handles should be about 4 feet from the floor. Pull stations must be located within 5 feet from the exit doorways opening. They should never be blocked. And that is a test question. The handles should be about 4 feet from the floor. Pull stations must be located 5 feet from the exit doorways opening, and they should never be blocked. Several types of safety signs may be posted at different locations inside the building. The signs are made to protect the occupants. For example, general behaviors to be followed during a fire emergencies, the locations of fire extinguishers, how to use them, how to sound the alarms, and all that good stuff. All right, so those are safety requirements, and as the fire guard, you need to find that. Make sure it's posted very conspicuously by the building, stairways, or close to the fire extinguishers. The fire guard should be aware of the fire safety signs requirements. Having information about the signs would help fire guards perform his work. He or she should also make sure that exit signs posted above the doors are lit. Like we said earlier, these are egress signs. Exit signs on the doorways are egress, and by the fire code should be always lit. So these are examples of egress signs or safety signs. Fire exit keep clear, which is green in color. Exit signs, typically red. You find that in different forms and shape. Not an exit. Exit for emergency use only. You have fire extinguisher signs. Do not use elevators in case of a fire. Use stairways. No smoking. Stairway signs, either red or black, and even sprinkler systems painted red. So in general, we have green, red, and black. So a question could pose, On the fire guard exam that states how many colors does a typical safety sign have? How many colors does a safety sign of exits have? The answer is 3: green, red, and black. And that brings us to fire protection system and fire extinguishers, which is sprinkler system 2.1. A fire sprinkler system is a live fire protection required by FDNY rule. As required by law, all apartment buildings built after March 1999 need to have fire sprinkler systems in the building. Note: built after March 1999 need to have sprinkler system. Buildings prior to that are exempt, though any building after that needs to have. If not, will be strictly penalized. Fire sprinklers consist of a water supply system that delivers suitable pressure and flows to the water distribution piping system. Water distribution piping system is connected to the fire sprinklers. The purpose of sprinklers is to control and extinguish the fire in case of any kind of fire in the building. Sprinklers are intended to control the heat release rate of a fire. Sprinklers cool nearby items to prevent the spread of fire. The fire dies when the burning particles disappear and after manual extinguishes. Water reactive materials may prevent special risk in any area. When the sprinkler system is out of service now, it can be used to extinguish fire. When sprinklers are not installed, the chance of property loss becomes very high. So that's why now you need a fire guard. That's why you need a fire guard when it's out of service. The sprinkler system has automatic devices made to release water on a fire. The devices are called sprinkler heads. The sprinkler heads are usually closed by a disc or a cap. This cap is held in place by heat-sensitive releasing parts. A rise in temperature to a present level causes the sprinkler head to open. Water is then released in the form of spray. The term fused means that sprinkler's head is open. Fused. That could be a test question. Means the sprinkler head is open. The sprinkler heads are built at regular interval on the piping. If more than one head opens, the area is sprayed by each sprinkler head and spray pattern may overlap. So an S12 COF holder is responsible for conducting inspections on sprinklers. Take note. That might also be another COF that you're interested in. S12. Standpipes. A standpipe system is a fire protection system that is made to give fast access to water in the event of a fire. Standpipe is like a mini fire extinguishers attached to a building. Okay, it's not a public one, it's attached to the building. So standpipes are fitted as individual systems and act as a building fire hydrant. Standpipes system can be added to sprinkler systems. Sprinklers may be automatically or manual, as well as connections points for fire hose. If the standpipe system is out of service, firefighters may not have access to water delivery for manual fire fighting. So that's serious. All right. So that brings us to the fire alarm systems. We have manual fire alarm pull stations, and we have smoke detectors. Fire alarm systems are required in many buildings as part of the fire protection system. The new fire code has expanded the requirements for fire alarm systems. Those requirements include, not limited to, hospitals, universities, or specific in the building code. The main reason for a fire alarm system is to warn building occupants and to transmit signals to the fire department. The transmission is done by an approved central station company. Impaired systems may cause a delay in alerting building occupants or the fire department. So that's why you need a fire guard. That's why you need a fire guard. That may lead to the risk of serious property loss if you don't have one, personal injuries, or even death. A fire alarm system consists of parts arranged to detect and alarm the status of signaling initiating devices. If threat is found, the system will provide a correct response to the signal. In general, a fire alarm system may be automatic, manually activated, or both. If a fire occurs, the alarm systems warn the tenants within a premise by triggering loud sirens, guns, bells, speakers, horns, and flashing lights. And again, the S95 COF order is responsible for performing inspections and ensuring maintenance of the fire alarm station. And that is the Fire Safety Director. The S95 order is the Fire Safety Director. So let's talk about the portable fire extinguishers here. If you look at the diagram here, you see that not more than 5 feet high and not less than 4 inches to the ground. And that is the prescribed way a fire extinguisher should be hung on the wall. A fire guard should know how to use a fire extinguisher and other firefighting equipment. In residential buildings, a portable fire extinguisher may not be available. The fire guard should know the type and size of fire extinguishers while performing his duties. All fire extinguishers must be mounted so that the top of the extinguishers is not more than 5 feet above the floor. The bottom of the fire extinguishers should be at least 4 inches from the floor, and that is the law. No fire extinguisher should be laid on the floor. It's unacceptable. Also, it's unacceptable blocking out the access to a fire extinguisher. Alright, you can find this diagram on your page 25. And let's talk about the acronym PASS. There's a popular acronym, PASS. And it's simply called pull the pin, aim the nose, squeeze the handle, and sweep across the base of fire. So that's what we call it, PASS, for you to easily understand. So if a fire extinguisher has been discharged, a fully charged replacement is required before work can restart. Portable fire extinguishers are important in stopping a small fire from becoming a larger fire. Portable extinguishers are not intended to fight large or spreading fire. So note, fire guards are responsible for extinguishing fires when they are small in size. If they are small in size, you could, but you're not duty bound to extinguish fire. Your job is to observe, report, and evacuate people, and announce to the fire department. So by the time the fire spread, portable fire extinguishers will not be enough to kill the fire. Such fires should be extinguished by the building fire extinguishing system or trained firefighters. So remember, when it comes to using a fire extinguisher, just remember PASS, PASS, which stands for pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. That brings us to the examples of different classes of fire. Class A fire we know to be ordinary combustibles. And ordinary combustibles could be categorized as wood, paper, cloth. Alright, so that is ordinary combustible kind of fire. Mattresses, boxes. So to extinguish a Class A fire, extinguishers should utilize either the heat absorbing effect of water or the coating effect of setting dry chemicals. Class B fire are flammable or combustible liquids and gases such as oil, gasoline, etc. To extinguish a Class B fire, the blanketing soldering effect of oxygen including media such as CO2, dry chemicals, or foams is most effective. Class C fire are electrical fire or energized fire. This fire must be fought with fire extinguishers that do not conduct electricity. But the good news now is that Class A, B, or C fire, we have one standalone fire extinguisher. You see the classes are A, B, C in them. So now you can use one fire extinguisher to put off either Class A, Class B, or Class C fire, which makes life easy now. Class B fire are caused by ignitable metals such as magnesium, titanium, metallic sodium, or even metals that are combustible under certain conditions such as calcium, zinc, or aluminum. These fire extinguishers come standalone. You can see an example of fire extinguishers up on the screen. It's on your book. There's another fire that's K, and I believe there's a graph in the bottom of page 25 that shows that it's more of cooking oil, animal fat. It's K, found in kitchens, restaurants. So again, it's another diagram that spells out the setting class of fire, A, B, C, D, and then we have K, animal oil and fat. You find that in big restaurants kind of fire. So the fire extinguisher inspection. All right, every fire extinguisher must be inspected, mostly every 3 months. So the extinguishers are required to be checked monthly according to the material, but most of the time it's inspected every 3 months. The owners of a place is responsible to select a person to do a monthly inspection. Might be a fire guard or the building coordinator. This inspection is a quick check that a fire extinguisher is available and will work when used. So information of a monthly inspection record must include the dates the inspection was done, a person who did the inspection, the portable fire extinguisher that required corrective action. At least one time per year, all fire extinguishers must be checked by an FDNY approved company or a W96 certificate fitness holder once every year. And that brings us to the appendix, chapter 9, fire protection system. Like I said earlier, the appendix are for you to study, and it's more like a summary of everything we've gone through already in this material. It talks again about the scope. The general fire protection system shall be designed, installed, operated, and maintained in accordance to the chapters and the reference standards. We'll talk about the permits. It talks about the required fire protection systems. The fire protection systems not required by codes. And additional fire protection systems, if you will. So page 26 is very critical for you to study, as well as page 27. Page 27 talks about the occupancy. Occupancy is very important. It shall be unlawful to occupy any portion of a building or structure until any required fire extinguishing system, fire alarm system, standpipe systems, or even a fire extinguisher system have been tested and approved. Fire department have to approve it and give the maximum occupancy of people that can be in that room or in that building at every point in time, depending on the kind of structure. All right, so go through your tables. Go through page 27. Go through page 28. Talks about record keeping and records. Again, refers you back to standpipe and sprinkler systems. And it finalizes by talking more about the servicing of portable fire extinguishers and commercial cooking exhaust systems, which is part of an hazard when it comes to fire. Smoke detectors, central station fire alarm monitoring. That's the brigaders in the fire department. It talks again about the out of service systems, the impairment coordinator. What is a fire watch? These duties and responsibilities of a fire guard. You want to read that? More like summarizing what you've studied already. Fire guard required. The fire watch required when a standpipe system, sprinkler system, or fire alarm system is out of service shall be maintained in accordance with the fire department code. A fire guard will be required. A fire guard is required when a fire watch of an out of service condition is needed. Talks about a fire watch coverage again, the 50,000 square feet. Read that, understand that. Plan removal from service, out of service, plan out of service condition. Read more about that. It breaks it down even more. And unplanned out of service condition. So if you notice, your appendix carries a whole lot of information. Talks about the standpipe system, the sprinkler system, the reporting materials, and it goes on and on. And that's all you need to finalize and be ready for your FireGuard F01. So we've come to the end of this program, FireGuard for Impairment F01 preparatory course. I believe I've been very helpful to you guys, and we will be sharing with you study material, question materials, examination question materials that you will use to prep yourself in preparation to the actual examination you'll be taking in the fire department. All right, we'll grade it and give you a score, and we encourage you to keep studying. You have 1 month for your letter. As soon as you issue the letter, you have 1 month to go take the test, and we believe 1 month's enough for you to study, understand, and get it done. All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me. My name is Mr. Emeka Ona. I hope you go back into our website and see about every other fire related COF that you might be interested on our platform. Again, we have F02, Fire Guard for Shelter, F03, Fire Guard for Indoor Place of Assembly, F04, Temporal Fire Guard for Outdoor Place of Assembly, F60, Fire Guard for Touch Operation, S as in Sam 60, Fire Guard for Watch Persons in Construction Sites. My name is again Emeka Ona. Thanks for joining me. Have a good day. Good night.